Hello and welcome to Matt Brandt in the Morning. I'm Matt Brandt, and it's the morning. Today we're going to be talking about some issues in education. Please join me in welcoming my first guest, Kayla. Hi, Kayla.
Hey.
Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, right now, a hot topic in America is education and how we can fix it. I mean, it's no secret that our public school system is failing a large number of students, and it's a very difficult problem to fix.
Well, that's very true. What some people have been proposing as a solution are charter schools such as the KIPP schools all over the country and the Harlem Children's Zone in New York City. And these schools are radically changing the way we look at schools nationally. These schools have extended the school day as well as the school year drastically. And these schools have some of the most inspiring educators across the country.
And these schools are producing results?
Yeah, we're seeing tremendous results. Statistics have shown that 88% of 8th graders have gone on to college with an estimate 21,000 of KIPP students total in college. In the Harlem Children's Zone, the graduation rate of students is 95%.
Wow. So why can't we just do this in all of our schools?
Well, that's pretty much the million-dollar question, Matt. If you can figure that out, you could retire tomorrow.
Well, thanks, Kayla. Please welcome my next guest, Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hello, Grant.
So, Amanda, please tell me, what's your view of an ideal teacher?
Well, an ideal teacher knows who they're teaching and knows how to adapt to them.
So, what do you mean when you say knows who they're teaching?
Well, rather than one big class, you're actually teaching a collection of individuals. And each student is different and needs different things. So an ideal teacher knows this and is dynamic enough to pull from different areas within themselves and channel these to their different students and produce results.
Well, isn't that a little unfair? I mean, teaching different ways for different students.
No, because what our job is as teachers is just that, to teach. So, to be fair, we need to see to it that each student is actually being taught the information. If that means that singing a jingle for one student or doing an actual hands-on activity with another one, that's what you have to do as the ideal teacher, is recognize what each individual student is needing and do that for them to get the information across and to help them learn.
So, how do we begin to see these things?
You see this by being culturally competent. If the teacher is culturally competent, they see that each student has a different background, and that these different backgrounds are a part of who they are and how they learn even. So instead of seeing their background alone, you see different opportunities to teach them. You see different ways that they're going to learn. And I guess what it really boils down to is that the teachers need to be, educated themselves in the different cultures and see what each culture would bring to the classroom.
All right. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Matt Brand.
Please welcome my last guest, Mike.
Thanks for having me on, Matt.
Thanks for coming, Mike. So, Mike, you're here promoting a new TV show, is that right?
That's right, Matt. It's premiering on ABC this January. It's called Critical Drinking. It's a sort of Cheers remake where a group of guys sit in a bar and talk critically about the world they live in.
That's very interesting. I've just got a couple of quick questions, if you don't mind.
I'll go ahead and shoot.
All right, so why even think critically in the first place?
Well, Matt Brandt, whether we realize it or not, a lot of our regular thinking is biased. Critical thinking raises questions and problems, gathers and assesses relevant information, communicates effectively with others, and comes to well-reasoned conclusions and solutions that have been tested against relevant criteria and standards.
Very cool. So, what else can you tell me about critical thinking?
Well, there are basically three levels of thought. Lower order thinking, which is unreflective, frequently relies on gut intuition, and is largely self-serving. Higher order thinking, which is selectively reflective, and it lacks critical thinking vocabulary, and it is not always fair. And then there's highest order thinking, which is where you really want to be. Highest order thinking is explicitly reflective, routinely uses critical thinking tools, is analyzing and assessing thinking, and it's always fair.
All right, cool. So, how can I tell if my thinking is actually critical?
Well, there are 9 universal intellectual standards which you can use to make your thinking more critical. Clarity, which is asking yourself things like, could I elaborate further, or could I use an example? Accuracy, which is how could I check on that and find out if that's true? Precision, could I be more specific or give more details? Relevance, how does this relate to my problem? Breadth, how do I look into this, or how do I look at it from another perspective? Logic, does this all make sense? Significance, is this the central idea that I need to focus on? And finally, fairness, do I have any vested interest in this issue?
I like it. So, what should our viewers do if they want to learn more about critical thinking?
Well, all they need to do is pick up this little book, The Miniature Guide to Critical Thinking by Dr. Richard Paul and Dr. Linda Elder.
All right, so do you mind if I ask you a couple other questions?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's easy to see that the demographics of the U.S. are rapidly changing. Do you agree?
Yes, that's a major issue facing educators of the future. According to the census, the U.S. will have a population that is well over 30% Hispanics by the year 2040. Teachers will need to find ways to adapt in order to teach a more diverse group of students.
So, knowing that these diverse classrooms are coming, how exactly can we prepare for this?
According to Joel Springs in his book Deculturalization and the Struggle for Equality, an argument is made that teachers should try to get to know their students on a deeper level. Educators need to know about their ethnicity, but they can't simply judge a student on this.
So, Spring brings up the point that the U.S. is moving towards a post-racial society. What do you think about that?
Many schools are diverse in students and teachers, but that's not always the case. So in a way, it's better than it used to be, but it's still far from being a post-racial society.
So, another common argument about education is how neutral it is. What about that?
Provenza argues that schools are never neutral, aren't neutral now, nor were they ever. Public and private schools have very different agenda, as do urban and rural schools. Educators can't strive to be neutrals, but what they need to do is be aware that they need to present different viewpoints so that their students are given a chance to make up their own mind and their own feelings.
So, staying on the topic of Provenzo's views, can you explain what mainstreaming is?
Mainstream is what has happened in 20th century classrooms. Teachers would be instructing a group that shared many similarities in regards to race and religion, so they were all taught the same. This is a problem because of all the differences children have, even among the same race and religion. A student with a learning disorder may need more individual attention, while a gifted student may need to be given harder work and allowed to work problems through on their own so they can fully develop their mind.
All right. So, basically, what you're saying is all students can reach their full potential when put in the right situation.
Yes, it's our job as teachers to put students in the right place, whether this is moving a child to the front of the room or getting them help in a room with different or better resources. We always need to watch for ways to adapt to our students so we can teach them the best way possible.
That sounds good, Mike. Be sure to pick up the Miniature Guide to Critical Thinking and to catch Critical Drinking on ABC this January. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks,
Hey, Matt Brand.
I've been Matt Brent in the morning, and we will see you next time.